Welcome to Create Your Own Economy podcast, the weekly podcast that equips you with the know-hows, the strategies, tools, and resources to create your own economy, grow your business, and live the life you desire. If you have not done so, hit the subscribe button so you'll never miss an episode. Hello and welcome. I am your host, Bunmi Ajibade, and today we have Lauren Glynn with us. She is so passionate about supporting small business owners, and today she will share with us how to achieve work-life balance. And you all agree with me that that is what we all struggle with as entrepreneurs. And she will do that, talk about work-life balance through delegation. And that is another thing that we struggle with, delegation. So Lauren, welcome to Create Your Own Economy podcast.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Yes. So let me tell you a little bit about Lauren. And, she is just amazing. We belong to the same group. And when I saw her bio, I'm like, yes, she needs to be here to share with us her experience. So Lauren Glynn, she's a systems tech and operations consultant for established female small business owners who want to work fewer hours and make more money without the chaos and overwhelm. Just follow me with all those words because we all need Lauren in our lives, okay? Drawing from her extensive experience coaching and consulting for Fortune 500 companies like Apple, Whole Foods, Pfizer, and federal agencies, Lauren helps teams or individuals build scalable systems for increased profit margins and efficiency without compromising quality, ensuring a proven track record of success. Through tailored coaching and implementation services, Lauren empowers clients to reduce working hours, music to my ears, increase revenue, and achieve better work-life balance, whether through a done with you or done for you approach. Lauren is committed to helping small business owners transform their operations, enabling them to make more money with few hours. I think, look, Lauren, what to do just summarizes what a typical entrepreneur is looking for.
Yep.
That is it, because we work so hard to nurture our babies, right? And then we see that we you know how it's a baby, you protect, if you have a little baby, you protect that baby 24 hours.
Mm-hmm.
We see that, we need to do other things.
Yep.
So let's first go back to you. What inspired you to create your own economy?
Sure. So that's a great question. And there were a couple of factors. So in 2019, I actually had brain surgery and had a benign tumor removed. And let me tell you, brain surgery really kind of puts the world and life in a different light. It makes you realize what's important and what's not important. And I realized that I didn't want to spend all my time working for someone else, earning money for someone else. I really wanted to be in control of what I was doing, who I was helping, and the work that I was doing. And the other thing was in 2021, I actually moved to Italy for a few months to get my citizenship by descent. And so now I have an EU passport as well as a US passport, so I can live and work anywhere in Europe or in the US. So I really wanted to build my own economy, build my own business that would allow me to sort of live and work anywhere that I wanted to, anywhere in the world. And from my work in those Fortune 500 companies, Apple and Whole Foods and everybody, I learned about process. I learned about, what is important versus what's not important and how to really narrow it down to the pieces that actually matter. And so I want to take those things that I learned and now help small business owners, because so many of them really struggle with setting up their systems and processes and spending too much time with manual processes and doing too many things. Because when you're a solo entrepreneur, you're wearing all the hats. There is no one else usually. So I really wanted to kind of make sure, that what I was teaching people was really helping them to build that life so that they could have the location independence if they wanted, and they can have that financial freedom and not always be, like you said, having to think about the baby and having to think about nurturing the baby. They can, turn their mind off a little bit and have that freedom that comes with owning a business, and also not so much of the overwhelm and the chaos that goes with it.
Wow. There's something you just said things that matter. I think every single one of us, whether you're an entrepreneur, just in life in general, we all need to figure out what are those things that matter to us. Mm-hmm. Because at the end of our life, because we're all not going to be here in 1,000 years. My grandson was asking me 2 days ago, he said, "Grandma, how old are you?" I said, "I'm just 1,000 years old." 1,000? Oh, I said, "Okay, how old do you think I am?" He said 100. I said, "Okay, that's still good." And then he said, "Do you know that when you are 90, no, he said 90. He said 90 or something like that. But he said, "Do you know that when you are 90, he said 90. I said, "Okay." He said, "Do you know that when you are 90, you can die?" So he's already, the thing is, we have to think about what matters to us. So you see, me and my grandson that matters to me.
Yeah.
So in business, whether you have a big business, a small business, every single one of us needs to figure out what matters.
Yeah.
And once we figure those things out, then we'll be able to know where that business needs to be. I mean, with your health issues that you went through, gave you that opportunity to sit down and say, "Okay, all right, what matters to me?"
Yep.
So yeah. Go on.
And even more on like a micro level, when you're working on a business, there's just so many things that you could be focusing on. Do I want to do social media? Do I want to be, doing these presentations? Do I want to be in this meeting? Do I want to volunteer? So figuring out what is actually important for the goals in your business, as opposed to trying to do all the things, is so important as well. Not just in life, but also in your business, because there's only so many hours in the day and there's only so much focus and attention that you can give things. And so figuring out what's actually moving the needle and what's actually important to you versus trying to do everything is so important as a business owner.
Yes. What is moving the needle? I had an interview with a young lady also yesterday. That was also, looking at what matters and also what are the part of your business that is moving the needle. Mm-hmm. Because if we focus, and I call those things income producing activities. Mm-hmm. The income producing activities in your business, they need more attention.
Yeah.
So we need to figure those things out. So what, in your opinion, leads to entrepreneurs getting overwhelmed?
I think a lot of it is pressure that we put on ourselves to be everything. We see that this other person is doing everything, so why can't I do everything? It's a combination of seeing other people and what they've accomplished and what they're doing. And it's also internal. It's, okay, I'm a business owner. I should be able to do all these things. But who said you should be able to do all those things? Just because you own a business, because you found something that you're passionate about, doesn't mean that you have to do all the things, or you should be good at doing all the things. Just because you're a homeowner doesn't mean you're automatically an electrician and a plumber. And, it's kind of the same thing. There are people who specialize in these things for a reason, because they're hard, and because you found your specific zone of genius of whatever it is that you're focusing on, whoever you're helping. And there are other people who have found those other zones of genius that you can then take in and, take advantage of them, not take advantage of them in a bad way, but, use them for your business. Mm-hmm. So it's important to recognize that you don't have to do everything yourself. You don't have to be everything in your business just because you're a business owner. It doesn't mean you do everything.
Yeah, again, this is my baby. From thinking about this thing, all the steps of coming up with the idea, the ideation period, thinking about it and working on it, and developing that product, developing that process, developing that service. I've worked on it. It's my baby. You want me to then delegate a part of it to somebody who does not have they can't take care of my baby like I would, So what do you say to that entrepreneur?
How do you know? How do you know that they're not going to take care of your baby as well as you are? Or are they going to do it better? If that's their specialty and that's something that they focus on, they may find a better way of doing it. For example, hiring a copywriter. You may think that no one can speak in your voice. No one can say things how you say them. But if you have the systems in place, you have a brand voice guide, for example, and you hire the right person, you vet them really well and you make sure that they understand what you want, then they should be able to speak in your voice as well as or better than you. So they'll be able to speak in your voice, but also convert people into sales and also be able to convert people into, buying your things or downloading your freebies or whatever the case may be. So finding the right person is really key to that and feeling that comfort level with them. So it does take time and it does take energy. And so I can understand how people might feel like, well, I'll just do it myself because it's faster. But is it actually faster? Are you actually, saving yourself any time by not putting the time in up front to find the right person that you can then delegate this work to, who works in that arena, who's that zone of genius? I think entrepreneurs feel that a lot. Well, it's my baby. I can only do this the best way. No one else can do it the way that I do it. But how do you know that? I don't know that you can make that blanket statement. And I know everyone does because I have understood that. I have felt that in my business. But then you find the right person and it just clicks. And, it's amazing what a freeing feeling it is to get those kinds of things off your plate so that then you can focus on the overall strategy of your business, of the long-term goals of your business, maybe client acquisition for your business, instead of being in the weeds, writing those social media posts or the newsletter or things like that. It's amazing what clearing that off your mental plate can do for the bigger picture of your business.
Yeah. I would play another devil's advocate again. I did it once, and this is an entrepreneur saying something. I did it once, and that person made this mistake. It took me even longer time to clean up the mistake. You know what? It's better for me to do it. How do you overcome that objection?
I would say, did you tell them that they made a mistake? Did you work with them to figure out why the mistake happened? Did you discuss with them what the process was supposed to be? Did you work with them to figure out, how they could prevent the mistake from happening in the future?
They're professionals. It's their job. They should know.
But they're not perfect. They're still human. They're not mind readers. They are not perfect. They are not, you 2.0, they are going to have to learn these things.
Yeah.
So I think it's totally understandable. Now, if it's like a really terrible mistake where they like swore at one of your clients or something, then that's a different story.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's, something that you can recover from easily, if it's not a life altering mistake, this is, as I like to say, we're not performing brain surgery. I mean, some of you out there might be performing brain surgery, but as someone who has gone through brain surgery,
Yes.
We're not performing brain surgery here. So mistakes are going to happen, but it's an opportunity for learning. It's an opportunity for teaching them what not to do in the future.
Yes.
Maybe you update your documentation to review that mistake so that people in the future don't do it. But if you go through life not doing anything because someone else might make a mistake, then you're never going to grow and your business is always going to stay stagnant because you're never going to feel comfortable with learning from those opportunities and teaching other people how to learn from those opportunities. So I think that people in those situations really need to understand, like, yes, it's going to happen. And you might make a mistake. If it were you doing it, you could have made that mistake or a different mistake. So we're all human. We're all just trying to get along day to day, and mistakes are going to happen. The difference is, how do you learn from it and use it to make yourself and this person that you're working with better in the future?
And looking at the at an entrepreneur and then looking at leadership also. So when as an entrepreneur, you don't know how to lead people, how does that play into the scenario we are talking about right now?
Yeah, and it's hard because you got into this business by yourself. You were the only one that you had to worry about. And now suddenly you have other people who are relying on you, who are expecting you to know what you're doing and expecting you to know what you're talking about. And I think the first step is to admit that this is hard. Admit that you don't always know what you're doing. You're not going to always have the answer. And that's okay. As an entrepreneur, I go back to that. As entrepreneurs, we put all that pressure on ourselves to be perfect, to know everything, to be able to do everything. And the reality is that you're going to have to learn how to do these things. And you're going to have to understand you're probably going to make a mistake and learn from it. The best thing that I can say is to be open and honest with the people you're working with and be a little bit vulnerable with them and say, look, this is new for me. I'm not really sure what I'm doing. I would love your feedback, for you to tell me if what I'm doing is helpful for you or if you need more from me. Make it a collaborative discussion and a collaborative process, as opposed to just trying to be a micromanager and being, that person who's commanding from on high. It's a little bit different when you're working with a team of contractors as opposed to like employees and leading them. But it's the same idea, that you want them to know that you're trying your best and that you might make mistakes because we're all human. And that's just part of the process. So it's important for you as an entrepreneur to understand that you're going to have to learn how to be a leader. You're going to have to learn how to be a little bit vulnerable within reason. And you're going to have to learn that mistakes are okay for you or for the people you're working with, and just kind of roll with it. Try to let it roll off your back. Again, not brain surgery. Nobody's going to die.
Yes.
Hopefully. We all are here to learn.
I think entrepreneurs that really want to grow their business, they need to learn continuously. I mean, we are learning every day.
Yep.
Either attending seminars or reading a book or belonging to a book club or having our coach, suggest something to us. We need to learn continuously. And then we need to be adaptable, as you said. If we're too rigid, that business will not grow. And if we don't grow, the business will not grow. Because most of the people that we hire or the contractors that are working for us, they will know more than us.
Yes. And that's what you want. You want someone who knows more than you. You're hiring them because they know more than you, not because they know less than you and you're going to teach them. Because then that is just giving yourself more work. You want to hire people that know more than you so you can learn from them and they can learn from you and you can all grow together.
Yes. And that one would then take us to one of the services that you offer in your business, which is helping business owners make more money with a few hours of work. And I know many of you will want to hear that from Lauren, how we all can work less hours and then make more money. So how do we do that?
So delegation. That's one way of doing it. Delegation, learning how to delegate. And one of the things that I actually help my clients with is how do they, helping them figure out what to delegate first, who they should hire first, how do they find a good VA? How do they hire that copywriter? How do they make sure the copywriter is doing what you want, how you want it, but also not micromanaging them? So that is one of the things that I help my clients with, is figuring all of that out and starting that process, finding those right people. So that's one way to help kind of make more money in less hours, is to delegate. And I know there's a lot of people out there who are probably saying, well, I'm not really making any money in my business yet. How am I supposed to pay someone else? And I think everyone has to figure out what that point is for them, even if it's just hiring your first VA at a few hours a month, where they're just maybe writing your newsletter off your plate, or they're responding to some emails for you. Whatever that thing is, that's kind of that stone around your neck that's dragging you down. Figure out what that is. That would just take, 5 hours a month, and hire someone to take that off your plate. Because even if it's only 5 hours a month, if you're doing this part-time, if you haven't left your full-time job yet, 5 hours a month can be a big deal in that stage of your business. And it's a lot about the mental load. By handing it off to someone else, then you're not thinking about it all the time. You're not worrying about it. You're not constantly thinking, oh, I have to write that newsletter this week. Oh, I have to go in and write those social media posts this week. Oh, I really don't want to do that. And so you procrastinate it and you think about it. And so it's not just the 5 hours a week. It's also that mental spinning that you do to think about these things that you don't want to do, but think that you have to do. So that's one of the services that I do offer for my clients, is helping them figure out kind of, who do I hire first? How do I figure out what they need to do? How do we document these processes so that they are effective when I do bring them on?
Very, very important. You actually touched what I was going to ask you, because somebody that is just starting a business and has a full-time job, 9 to 5, and starting a business, time is limited, funds are limited, and how can they make it happen? And I love what you said, really identifying that one thing that if it is taken off to somebody else, that would have made a difference. And you know what I started thinking? When I was in that space, my job was 90% travel.
Mm-hmm.
I was a training manager, training and coaching development manager in a Fortune 500 company, 90% travel. And
that is a lot of travel.
Yeah, a lot of travel. So if I had this, and that was one of the reasons that I'm actually doing this podcast, because I lived that life. And I learned so much that I know there's so many people that can benefit from this. If I had thought of this just 5 hours a month, somebody doing my, social media post, I would have, because they will eventually pile up and pile up and pile up, responding to we had an event, responding and all that, they pile up and pile up. And it's like, okay.
It just seems so overwhelming that you don't even know where to start at a certain point.
And then the mental load, we carry that mental load. Oh my God, I had to do this. And that is not the only load we carry, Lauren.
No.
Load, right? Mm-hmm. If you are still on 9 to 5, there's load of maybe what your boss wanted you to do. There's a project that you are all doing and you are the lead for that project, and it's getting too slow, and then you have that, and then your child's school, there's a project that your child needs to, and then your parents are sick, and then
it all adds up.
Your kitchen is leaking, your kitchen sink is leaking.
Yep.
So we carry a lot, that we really need, if you have a VA, virtual assistant, it doesn't have to be for the whole month. It can be you can start 3 hours.
Yep.
Look at what 3 hours can really do for your business. Oh, thank you. Thank you. It's because even myself thinking, VA can be a monthly thing. Ooh, can I afford that? So breaking it down is very important.
Yes.
Any other thing you want to share on that, or on how you can help us to make more money in 2 hours of work?
Yes. So it's not just about hiring. It's also about your systems. What, automations are you having? What CRM do you have? Where are you connecting all of your disparate systems? For people who are a little bit more established, they probably have a couple of different systems. And are they talking to each other? Are you having data transferred automatically between them? What are your client onboarding processes look like? How are you collecting feedback and testimonials from your clients? Because all of that can be automated, or at least partially automated, depending on your comfort level. So there's a lot in the business that you can do that doesn't even have to be hiring people, that can optimize the time that you do have and the systems that you do have, or add new systems maybe, or switch to a different system that might work a little bit better for you. Those are all things that I help my clients with and figuring out. And the other things that I also help with is goal setting. How do you, as an entrepreneur, we often don't take the time to sit down and figure out, okay, where do I want this business to go? How do I want to get there? What are the steps that I'm going to take? How do I break it down? Because we're so much in the wheel spinning, running the business day to day, that we don't take that step back and think, okay, what's my bigger strategy here? Where am I trying to go with this? And it might change, but at least you have something to work from. And so that's a lot of what I help my entrepreneurs with, is figuring that out, figuring out how they're going to get there, figuring out what they want their business to look like. One of my clients that I'm working with is an HR strategist, and she does a lot of fractional HR with clients, which means that she's available not all the time, but hourly for people, for them to pull her in on consulting on things like employee issues or contract negotiations, or she's up in Canada, so they have a lot more collective bargaining agreements. She had one issue with a client who had a body odor issue, and she had to, mediate that. And she's talking to me about this, and I'm asking her, like, well, is this what you want to do? And she's like, well, I really like solving problems. And I'm like, but that was an hour and a half this morning that you spent with this client. You made $300, which is not a small chunk of change, but what else could you have been doing in your business that would have made you more money? Could you have been looking at bigger strategy? And she's like, well, I really want to go into companies and evaluate their current people situation, help them fix it, and get out. And I'm like, so you don't want to be doing fractional HR? You don't want to be on call? And she was like, well, I guess I really don't. It was working through that with me. Yes. It was talking it through to figure out what she really wanted out of her business. Exactly. And, she keeps saying, like, well, I want to make decent money. And I'm like, well, at $150 an hour, that's decent money, but it's not the money that you're thinking of. Yeah. She wants to make, a lot more than that. And I'm like, well, the way to do that is for you to step back, think about the strategy, and think about what you want, and then work it backwards and how you're going to get there. So that's a lot of what I help my clients with, is kind of figuring out that bigger picture, and then how do I get there? And, we came to the determination that she needed to hire someone to do the fractional HR. She didn't want to get rid of it entirely because it can lead to other work. So we're going to work together to find the right people to hire. So that's kind of a lot of what I help my clients figure out. It's not just about the systems. It's also about the bigger picture of your business and how you want it to run and how you want to be a part of it, how involved or how uninvolved you want to be as in your business. So definitely.
And every time we coach a client, we always have to go back and align whatever they are doing to who they are. Because what I heard you say is that, is this what you really want to do? Is this really you? Does this align with your purpose? You are making, $150 an hour, that's good money, but is this really you? She's like, no, it's not me. Because when they dwell in a space that is not them, that can cause that overwhelm that we're talking about, spinning their wheels, right? And eventually, they won't make anything out of the business anyway.
Yeah.
Because
and you're spending all these hours a day helping people and not growing your business, not getting those bigger clients and those bigger contracts.
Yeah, definitely. So right now, is there any project you are working on that you want to share with our audience as we wrap up? And anything that can benefit the audience that you are working on right now and how they can reach you?
Yeah, so I'm actually offering a free profit optimization kickstart session for your listeners. They can go to my website, laurenglynn.com/profit, and book their time. Basically, what we do is we sit down, we talk about their business, we talk about what they're doing, what they want to be doing, what they want their business to look like. And then out of that, I create a roadmap for them to help them figure out how they're going to actually get to where they want to be with their business. What systems do they need? What processes do they need to implement? Who do they need to maybe hire potentially? How are we actually going to get them to the place of their business that they want to be? So that's laurenglynn.com/profit. And there's a form that you can fill out. Tell me all about your business, schedule a time to talk to me, and you will come out with that roadmap for you for how you want to grow your business and where you want to go with it.
And it's free?
Totally free. There's no obligation or anything. It's totally free.
Do I qualify?
Of course, you qualify.
She qualifies.
Yes. And then just make sure when you fill in that form that you put the name of the podcast, Create Your Own Economy, in that how did you find me, to make sure that I know that you came from our podcast, our conversation.
Did you hear that? Take advantage of this. Go to laurenglynn.com. Am I right? /profit.
Yep.
And when you fill out the form, put there that you are from Create Your Own Economy. She needs to know.
Yes. I have to make sure you get credit.
Yes. I am going to be there. I'm going to be one of the people that will take advantage of that. And
I can't wait to talk to you about it.
Look, I really, really appreciate you for taking time to share with my tribe. This is really amazing. This is amazing. When we add value to other people, you could have made money during this time, but you chose to add value to other people. Just as you said, everything is not about money. It's really, who do I want to help? Who can I just make their lives better today? So I really appreciate you. Thank you so much, my friend. And we're going to do more business together. I can see that.
Well, thank you so much for having me. It was a wonderful conversation. I'm glad, I hope your audience got some value out of it, and I look forward to speaking to you more. Definitely.
And so thank you for listening. Create Your Own Economy podcast is presented by Claro Growth Resources. We are an organization that promotes the growth and development of individuals, organizations, and businesses. We do that through coaching, training, and mentoring. If you have any question, or you are looking for a coach, a mentor, or you need your organization needs some training, you can reach out. Go to my website, clarogr.com/MEET, and book a free discovery session. And also, if you are not sure whether you are right for a business, or you are thinking of becoming an entrepreneur, but you are not really too certain, I want you to go to my website also. I have a 10-point checklist. You can go ahead and answer those questions to determine how ready you are to start your business and what you really need to do. So go to www.clarogr.com/checklist. I invite you to please share this podcast Lauren gave us a lot of nuggets that other people need to hear about, especially work-life balance. There's no one size fit all, but we can learn what will work for our business. So write a review. Take opportunity to go to laurenglynn.com/profit and meet with her and let her help you through your business and for that free session. And I will see you on the next episode. I hope you enjoyed this episode. The best gift you can give me is by sharing this podcast with your friends, your family, and reviewing it, which will help this podcast to grow organically. If you want to create your own economy and live the life that you deserve, join my next workshop or schedule time with me. My purpose may as well be to help you on your journey. Visit clarolgr.com/workshop. See you again next week.